All right, chums up, man. Let's do this. Welcome back to the Sleeping Tiger channel. I am the Canadian, your Canadian Asian. And so today, I'm going to be showing some gameplay of Borderlands 3. I'm playing my Cryo Zane build at level 53. And I'm using a lob to kill Captain Trant. And basically, I'm just trying to farm for random legendaries and epics with anointed effects. Specifically looking for that when Sentinel is active, Zane deals 100% increased or deals 100% cryo damage. And I have that on the lob that I'm using, and it's working to great effect on him, on Captain Trant. Towards the end of the video, I'll highlight my spec and some of the items that I'm using. But to get right into it, I wanted to talk a little bit about what I'm doing right now in this current official bear market. Just to put a timestamp on this, this is March 17th, 2020, and the US and the world has declared that there is a pandemic going on and unfortunately, you know what, screw it. I don't care if this gets demonetized. The coronavirus or COVID-19. And so what's going on right now is that there's a lot of countries that are infected by this virus. And currently the US is on trying to curve the rate at which we have infection. We're struggling a little bit. Whoever you ask, I don't care. We're struggling a little bit to get a large quantity of people tested. Whether or not a large quantity of people need to be tested or who gets testing, that's up for debate. Doesn't really matter. What does matter is how people are reacting to the situation. So the Dow is now officially in a bear market, which means it's dropped 20% from its high, and it's continuing to go down. We have, rallies here and there, and then we have, further deepenings on the Dow Jones. Honestly, Dow Jones 20,000 is almost inevitable at this point. I unfortunately think that the Dow Jones can go to 15,000, even lower. That would go back to Obama era Dow Jones levels for its evaluation. But basically, other than that, I just wanted to kind of explain what's going on in the markets currently. We've had the Fed do interest rate cuts so now we're near zero, either 25 basis points or zero rates. And they've also established, that they're going to be involved in the repo market. Steve Mnuchin's come out and they said that, we're going to do whatever we have to in order to keep liquidity in the markets. So, like, the Fed and the government is trying to do all that they can to assure people that they're going to be there to try to help them financially. Okay? Now, it's up to policymakers how they're going to do that for the rest of the population, your Joe Blow and everybody who works a restaurant job that may get shut down, to the people who work at Harkins who aren't receiving any customers anymore. That is yet to be seen. All right, so all that being said, I believe I've set the stage now to show that, there's a reasonable amount of concern in the markets and for people around the U.S. So what am I doing to kind of in this scenario? So I've been long cash for a couple years now because I believe that there was going to be a recession coming. Now, I could have not predicted, I don't think anybody could have predicted that this potential recession at this point, I would almost say it's 100% chance that we were going to see a recession, denoted by at least 2 quarters of negative GDP growth here in the US. But I did not foresee it being caused by what people could call a black swan in the sense of COVID-19 or the coronavirus. I would have guessed it would have been, a regular debt cycle, business cycle, whatever you want to call it, where there is either a global or a national slowing of growth due to excess credit being in the market and the Feds having to raise interest rates to get to a normalized interest rate amount so that when the recession does happen, they would be able to lower interest rates to keep this engine going. So, but unfortunately, the Feds didn't get to normalize rates to where his target was. I believe Jerome Powell wanted to raise interest rates to around 3.25, and he believed that that was a normalized rate. And that would be enough ammunition for the Feds to lower interest rates to restart the economy after a recession. So didn't expect this. I, I'm kind of in a hard place right now where, I'm rooting for the worst case scenario so that I can deploy my capital to the greatest effect, buying up as many dollars on the cheap as possible, buying up real estate, buying up, highly valued companies at a great discount. But the other half of that is that this is coming at, the potential loss of life. And even though people die every day, and people in the news media right now are saying that the flu kills more people, drunk driving and auto accidents kill more people. The point of the matter is that this is a very contagious virus. I don't care who you talk to. It is contagious. Very contagious. Until we know, it's all going to be hindsight. Until we know the total number of people that get infected to the total number of people who have died, we will not have an official, mortality rate on this virus. And currently, right now, it's very hard for us to get, whether it's a supply issue with tests, whether it's a lockup with the people who verify the tests. The government is working. It seems like they're working very hard to try to increase the number of tests and the people who can do the tests. And it sounds like our private industry is, they're coming together to try to make a best case scenario. Okay. So, anyways, I'm torn because I wanted a recession so that I could do these things, but at the same time, I don't want to root for people to get hurt or get sick or die. Okay, so just please understand that, because I do still plan on capitalizing on this market where I can, but I do not support the idea of people, getting sick and dying. But so what am I doing right now? Right now, I have a lot of savings. I did buy what you would call a falling knife. I did go and start purchasing some companies over the last 2 weeks, in an effort to buy, air quotes, the dip. I've been catching falling knives all last 3 weeks because no matter where I bought, the market has continued to go down. And I do not think that's a mistake. That's always been a part of my plan. I was okay with catching a falling knife because when I did my technical analysis, when I did my analysis of the companies I did purchase, I do plan on holding them till the day I die. And by the time I die, these companies should have recovered substantially. How much capital have I deployed? I've only deployed about 30% of my investable capital. And when I say investable, I mean that does not include any leverage. I have not included any money that I can access through leverage. It does not include any of my emergency fund. That is fully funded up to 6 months, and I am actually planning on continuing to grow that emergency fund just in case this pandemic and the situation in the US deteriorates any further than what it has. The job I have is relatively recession proof. It did fine over the last recession, but this is a recession being triggered by something we haven't seen before, so there's that excess risk there. So yeah, I've only deployed about 30% of my investable capital, and I don't plan on deploying the rest of it until recession flags have either been triggered or waived. So about 6 months from now, after the elections, more than likely. Some things I'm looking for in order to determine whether the recession's there or what I plan on doing. I do plan on taking advantage of these lower interest rates. I've already talked to my main lender about refinancing 2 properties that I have. And just so people understand, I don't plan on ever selling these properties. For me, a cash out refinance, at least done in a manner where the numbers provide me with a mortgage that has some wiggle room on rents, that I can lower rents if I had to during hard economic times like we are right now, and still retain those properties and have a decent cash flow. I do not believe in cash out refinancing to the maximum of what your appraisal value is, because those can be inflated based on the demand in your area, and there's some volatility there. That's a topic for a whole other time. But anyways, so planning on refinancing, whether or not I do a cash out refinance or I just refinance at a normal rate to lower the mortgage payments so that there is that wiggle room for the rents, I have yet to determine. And so in the meantime, my best case scenario is that I'm gonna deploy more capital into equities such as stocks, buy up some companies, and then maybe if there is a U-shaped recovery, I do expect the stocks to recover faster than a housing market if there is a housing market impact. And so I would sell some of those stocks later on down the future in order to access capital to go and purchase another rental property. So the idea is, wade through the recession, slowly deploy capital until we reach the bottom. Pray for a U-shaped curve, not a V-shaped curve. I think that would be too excessive. And then once that happens, sell off some choice stocks, retain a lot of other ones, and use the capital to hopefully purchase a rental property at a discount because of unfortunate layoffs or hardships that other people have fallen into because of this recession. So to end this video, I just kind of want to talk a little bit about the channel. I appreciate any views that I get on here. I'm going to try to make a better effort to read comments, to not react on comments as much as possible. I'd be lying if I didn't let the comments impact me. I'm working on getting a tougher skin. And I apologize for the quality of the video quality on some of my gameplay. I'm still working with my recording software to determine what's the best resolution for the frame rate that I play at. And so I do believe it's at least digestible. You can see what's going on inside the video. And luckily the build where I highlight my talent, my skill points, and where I highlight my gear, the video quality on there turned out to be fine. So again, thank you very much for viewing this video. If you can, leave a comment and I'll try to reply to them. If anything else, you guys have a great day, and please, please, please be safe out there. And if you're a young person such as myself, I hate the term social distancing, but please try to practice some social distancing. It's not for so much your health, but the benefit of your loved ones or anybody who you care about that may be older or have some underlying health issues. Okay, so anything, you guys, thank you very much and have a great